Hi, I'm Melissa Vance with the Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining me today for Chamber Chat. We are going to be speaking with Aubrey Blue from Cope Environmental Center. Then we'll be looking ahead with Ed and ending up with Eric Marsh from WCTV and our Issues and Advocacy Committee talking about the upcoming candidate forums. Welcome back. I have Aubrey Blue with me from Cope Environmental Center. Thank you for coming, Aubrey.
Thank you for having us.
So I know there are several people at Cope, and you're located over in the Centerville area.
Correct.
Beautiful property. Tell us a little bit about what's happening over there. I know you have a new building, lots of new programming.
Yes, it's very exciting over there right now. We've just been through some change. Last year, our executive director, Allison, resigned, and we now have a new executive director, so that's a big new thing. We also have a brand new building, like you mentioned, and it is right now going under the scale. They're going on the scale of trying to be certified for the Living Building Challenge.
Okay.
Which, as Allison used to say, it's like LEED on steroids, which if you've heard of the LEED building.
Yes.
So it's pretty amazing, and we're really excited about the new building, and we're giving tours, and we're going to start having a lot of programs that have to do more with sustainability as well.
Great. Now, for those that may not know, what is Living Building? What does that mean?
The Living Building Challenge is a very intense certification. And what that means is you have to follow certain criteria. And the criteria, actually, it looks like the logo looks like a little flower. And each one of the petals represents something like, for example, energy or water. And you have to follow all of the rules in each one of those petals. And so once we are proven that we followed all the rules for each one of the petals, then hopefully we will get a full certification, which is what we're going for. But
That would be great.
yes, we would be the first one in Indiana, and there's only about, I believe, 15 or 16 in the world that are LBC certified.
Wow, that
pretty
would
exciting.
be very exciting. To
Yes.
think that that's happening here in Wayne County.
I know. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
You all have done a great job with growing the organization and obviously with the building, but
Thank you.
we have you here today to talk more about the programming, and that's your realm as
It is.
program director.
Yes.
How long have you been with Cope?
That's a funny question. I have been there 18 years.
Wow.
Yes. I started off as a summer intern for the first few, but yeah, I've been there 18 years this year.
Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm sure the kids love to see you, and they've gotten to know you really well. But you have something coming up next month on Saturdays in April. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have a person that we have hired new, and she is one of the naturalists as well. And she will be leading these every Saturday. And I believe, I can't remember the timing.
12:30 to 2, it looks like. And create your own field journal,
Yes.
fossil fun,
Yes. And
scavenger hunt. How
yes, and
fun.
it'll be including hikes and activities, and I think there'll be journaling as well. So we haven't even been open on Saturdays until the past year or so. So it's exciting. We're going to have some programs now on those days.
So is there an age group specific for those Saturdays, or is that all ages?
I believe it's all ages, but I think it is focusing on more of the younger age as well.
Okay, great. And then you lead the spring night hike that's coming up on April 13th.
Which is Friday the 13th. Yeah. But actually, my father is the one that leads that one.
Oh, really?
His name is Russ Wright, and he's the one that leads that. And we do call in owls, or at least attempt to call in some owls, and we do some activities that have to do with our senses while we're on the trails.
Neat.
It's fun.
So about how many kids do you normally have for that?
For the night hike, and that's for anyone. That can be adults,
okay.
family, kids, anyone. And we normally have, actually, the last one we had in fall, we had over 40. I think we had like 45 people show up.
That's a great group.
It is.
That's a great group.
I just will say, though, if you decide to come, we say no flashlights, and we also would ask people not to wear those shoes that light up.
Okay.
Because we've had a few kids wear those over the years, and it just kind of, it makes your night vision go away.
Right, yeah, I got it. Sustainable and attainable. Tell us about that.
That is a new series that has been put together by Reagan, who works at Cope Center, and it's all focused on sustainability. Our first one is coming up this week, and it has to do with our building and the Living Building Challenge, and we'll have a panel of people that were involved with that up there discussing it. The next one that will be coming up after that is actually on solar and solar panels.
Okay.
And Rectify, who actually did our solar panels at Cope Center, will be here to discuss the solar industry and the perks and benefits of it.
The solar energy, just as a side note, that is really growing.
It's huge. It's getting
Solar
very big.
farms as well as just individuals trying to integrate solar into their personal properties and businesses doing the same. So I'm sure that
Yes.
will be very interesting.
Yes, it is. I've heard him speak before for a program for us, and it was really very interesting, actually.
And again, that's something that is for adults, and I'm sure it's okay to bring children as well.
Oh, yeah, you could always bring children, but they might get a little bored.
More geared toward adults.
Yes.
Bring something for them to color, right?
Exactly. Or some
Yeah.
snacks.
Exactly. And then you have a lot of things going on with your summer programming.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
Summer programs, those in school programs are ones that I have been doing for years, and summer programs are so much fun. And we have a lot of new topics this year. One of them is one that I'm so excited about. It's biomimicry. And what that is, it just discusses how you can relate nature and things you see in nature back to our own lives. Whether it's the shape of a bird compared to a train, and it's just really interesting. But biomimicry is one of them. We are doing one about art in nature and using nature as our background, as our art pieces. So those are two of the fun ones. And conservation camp is my favorite.
Of course. That's great.
Yeah.
And so you have some things going on for preschool through third grade, and then others for fourth to sixth grade. Can you talk a little bit about the programming difference between those age groups?
With the younger crowd of the pre-K up through the third, we make things more basic. Easier to understand. I also like to have read books every day in those classes as well, which even as an adult I like to be read to, but
Right.
you know, the fourth and sixth graders and seventh and eighth graders, they don't really like being read to at this
Right.
point. But
They outgrow it and then they grow back into it.
Exactly. I could be read to every night, actually. But yeah, so it's just more basic. Like I said, there's reading, and once you get into the older groups, we actually get to have an overnight for the fourth through sixth grade program, which is conservation camp.
Okay.
They spend the night on that Thursday to the Friday, and wilderness survival, which is seventh and eighth grade, they spend the night on Thursday to Friday as well.
And so are those outside overnights or
Oh, yes.
inside overnights?
They are so outside.
Okay, I figured.
Yes, they're really fun.
That sounds neat. And then, so you said the 7th and 8th grade, that is July 16th through 20th, and that's Wilderness Survival Camp, and that's kind of what you were just talking about.
It is, yes. And I will tell you, if you ever hike out at Cope Center, there is a trail where it looks like, I call them Ewok villages over on the side. Those are actually the shelters they build every year, and that's what they sleep in at night for wilderness survival.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you ever see those at Cope when you're hiking, that's what those are. Or you can call it the Ewok village too.
There you go. Well, now people can go out there and look for that and kind of have that be a special thing to see.
That's right. That's right.
So, how fun. And then afternoon fun in the sun.
All that is our morning programs in the summer for the pre-K through third. They are very themed, and the afternoon fun in the sun is a little more laid back. There's more free play. And And it's just a lot of times they get to choose what we get to do as well. It's just not as focused on a theme.
Great.
So.
Well, I appreciate all that you're doing, and you know, one of the things that as a chamber, putting my chamber hat back on, we really try and help support organizations like yours, not just because they're wonderful, but because it makes Wayne County a great place to live, and it helps businesses attract employees to come work here and live here, employees that maybe are commuting from outside the community. The more great organizations and activities and family things to do, the more reason there is to come and be a part of Wayne County. So
Thank you.
we think that that all fits really nicely together. So we appreciate you being there, and if people want more information about what's happening or to sign up for any of the programs, tell us how to find that.
Awesome. You can go to our website at www.copeenvironmental.org. You can also call us at 855-3188.
Great. Thanks again, Aubrey.
Thank you.
And now we'll be moving over to Ed for Looking Ahead with Ed.
All right, well, welcome to Looking Ahead with Ed. I'm Ed De La Paz, the Director of Marketing and Communication for the Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce. So you might know me from my emails. I usually send out a lot of information about what's going on and all the things that the Chamber of Commerce does. So right now we're going to take a couple minutes and we're going to look at some of the upcoming Chamber events. So first off, we're going to take a look at the next Business Education Series, which is on the Wayne County weekends. This is going to be on April 26th at 11:30 a.m. And we're going to have a special guest speaker. Peggy Sinova is going to come over to our area, and she's going to talk about collaborations. And this is going to be an awesome event because this also highlights Wayne County weekends, which actually Wayne County weekends is coming up this year too. We're looking at June 1st through August 31st as the Buy Locals Wayne County Weekends. This is going to be a program that's going to promote everything that's going on in Wayne County, not only just in Richmond, but we're also looking at Cambridge City, Centerville, and Hagerstown area, plus some of the other stuff that's going out in the community. So stay tuned to find out a lot of more information on what's coming up with Wayne County weekends. Next, we have coming up towards the end of the school year, the senior celebration on May 9th. Every year, Wetzel donates a car to one student that has perfect attendance for the entire school year. So this is our celebration to kind of give back to all the students who went to school every single day and made every single day counts. Next up, we have our Chamber Golf Classic, which is, go ahead and mark your calendars for this. It's June 8th, and it's one of the funnest events that we do at the Chamber. You have the opportunity to come out. If you're a Chamber member, get a team, come out and play some golf and have a great time. So mark your calendars for June 8th on that. Lastly, coming up, we have the next Chamber Network Night in June 6th at Van Vliet Insurance. So this is a really good opportunity to kind of meet other Chamber members, but also it's at the same time, and it's right before the first Bloom and Glow that happens at the Glen Miller Park. So you can come, eat, be merry with Chamber members, and then go across the street and see all the balloons as they rise into the air. And then the last event that I need you guys to mark a calendar for is the Chamber Farm Tour. So this year, it's going to be on July 12th. So we'll be going out and we'll be visiting a Wayne County farm, and it's another exciting event that the Chamber does. So mark your calendars, plan to attend that. More information about the farm tour will be coming out soon. We also have the In Focus candidate forums coming up. So, Melissa, I'm going to turn it back over to you, and you have a special guest, Eric Marsh of the Whitewater Community Television. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on with the In Focus candidate forums.
Welcome back to the show. Now we are moving into our committee chat section, and I have with me Eric Marsh from WCTV. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Eric is a member of our Issues and Advocacy Committee, and so he's going to be wearing the Issues and Advocacy Committee hat today, as well
just
as...
put them on and take them off.
That's right. Any other hat we can throw at you, we'll try while you're here.
Great.
Well, I know you have been a part of many conversations with the Issues and Advocacy Committee. Mm-hmm. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about why you feel like that committee is an important section of the chamber and what kind of issues are addressed?
I think it's an important thing for the chamber because, one, it allows the chamber really to update their membership on a wide variety of conversations that could be going on, legislation before it happens, changes that are taking place within certain businesses in the community that they may or may not be aware of. It's a great way to get feedback on various things. The conversations over the last couple of years have been varied. Should or shouldn't there be a food and beverage tax? What kind of updates are going on? Read Health changing over some of their computer system, the EPIC computer system that's coming in. Representatives from Senator Donnelly's office and other offices for some of our legislators.
Right.
A chance for the members to hear from those folks in particular about what's going on. The governor has come in, obviously, with his luncheon. So it really updates things that are happening here locally as well as on the state basis. And the Chamber of Commerce, that is what they do. They are a representative and advocate for those members that are doing that. So it's good for them to be able to bring in people, talk about those issues, and then use that to create positions for or against, or just put out information to the chamber members and kind of help keep them updated on what's going on.
Right. You know, I often tell people this is our serious committee because it's not the party committee, it's not the events committee, but it really is important. And many of our members, they are all about running their businesses day to day, and they don't have time to attend council meetings or to reach out to legislators or even just to have their ear to the ground on things that might be affecting their business down the road. And that's what is great about this committee as a whole, bringing in people to talk through issues, having all sides of the issue at the table, and often just kind of mediating conversation, pulling together those educational pieces that we can push out.
And it's really important, and there are always a lot of people in the room. You had the sheriff and the chief of police updating with what's going on with the opioid crisis. So sometimes it's legislation, sometimes it's social issues, sometimes it's new laws that are being passed. Our state legislature kind of ended their session, they're going back in, so things will continue to change. And as those laws go into effect normally around July 1, there may be some updates that need to be done to the membership as to how the tax laws affect them and things of that nature. So the Issues and Advocacy Committee is a great place to kind of work some of those out and then maybe put out a couple of paragraphs as to what some of the members should be aware of.
And for any of our members that are listening, we accept phone calls or emails about things that they may hear of or want this committee to kind of take a look at. Obviously, there are 12 meetings a year, and topics usually take time, so it doesn't necessarily mean that we can get to them all immediately, but certainly they're all taken under advisement, which is great.
But if people are able to come and join, those aren't long meetings. Normally only about an hour. Get in, get out. It's not really a waste of time, and it's some great conversation.
Yes. Well, the Chamber and WCTV have worked together for quite a while on candidate forums leading up to our primary and general elections. Tell us a little bit about how that got started, because it was before my time, and give us a little history.
There's always been, in WCTV's history, a relationship with the election. Those that started this organization about 30 years ago put in writing the fact that we should always be involved with the election. And when things were held years ago out at the Coleman Center, when things were broken out into precincts, WCTV would really kind of empty the studio of all of the equipment, drag it out to the Coleman Center, and do things from there. We're not able to go live from places like that. But in order to kind of keep things moving and to keep people updated, when we stopped working with the Palladium Item and PI Live, and the Chamber was looking for a different way to do their debates, the In Focus Candidate Forum kind of came around. In Focus is a program that we started really about 4 years ago, Thursday night, 6 o'clock on WGTV, our government access channel. A chance to really talk about issues locally as well as state issues that affect people in our region. So we've had the legislators in. We talk about some of the other things that go on in this area. But this time of year, we turn it into a candidate forum, a chance for the candidates in contested races, both primary and general election, to come in, sit down, and talk for an hour and 90 minutes about the various topics that are of the day, and also for viewers to be able to send in questions. It's not just the questions that we come up with, but it's about opening up our phone lines, opening up our Twitter feed, opening up our email, and letting residents ask questions of those candidates. And we encourage that during the process.
Right. In fact, it makes it more interesting for the viewers, and it's relevant.
Yes.
So,
It is about what is happening right now, and people do care. They say people get tired of elections. I think people really care about the elections, particularly when they're local. They know the candidates, they know the issues, and they want to hear what those folks talk about. And it's not a matter of screaming or giving them a minute and a half to get this really short little canned answer. We try to have a discussion so that we can kind of flesh out their thoughts a little bit more and hear more than just that 30-second soundbite.
It's not what we would consider a debate, so to speak. It's more of a conversation. It's question and answer, and just having conversation about, like you said, the issues.
Right.
Well, we have several contested races coming up here in the primary election, and so March 29th we're going to kick off, and we're going to be we have invited the Republican candidates for the 6th Congressional District to join us. We know that at least Jonathan Lamb will be joining us thus far, and we are waiting to hear about others as well, but some of the candidates are Mike Campbell and Stephen McKenzie, Greg Pence, of course, and Jeff Smith for that race in particular. And then we'll be talking to the Democratic candidates on April 5th for the 6th Congressional District as well. Right now, we know Joshua Williams and Janine Lake will be joining us, correct? And again, we're waiting to hear from the rest. But those candidates
we got some of those invitations out a little bit later than we wanted to.
Right.
The candidates kind of fill in their calendars very early with various meet and greet opportunities. So we may not have all of them, but it's not a matter of them not wanting to be here. Sometimes the date that we set, and we have to set a hard and fast date in order to get this done, doesn't match with their calendars.
So we kind of back up to right to the end, right near the election.
We
which
do.
Is
we try to
great.
get this finished before the vote centers actually open. You can do some absentee voting while we're still having our discussions, but we want to be done when the week that the vote centers open up. So we try to start a couple of weeks before that and then back up and get as many of those races in, particularly those contested races. And we'll do the same thing in the general election.
And then on April 12th, we're going to have candidates for state reps in districts 54 and 56.
Correct.
And then on the 19th, we have all three of the Wayne County Sheriff candidates with us.
That'll be an interesting race.
That will be very interesting. I think interesting locally. Lots of questions I'm sure will come in.
Sure.
Our members have had questions in that for that race as well, and we'll be 90 minutes that night.
Correct.
And then we'll end with a 60-minute show on April 26th with candidates for Council District 3. And so it's going to be an exciting time.
It is.
I may be with you some, and we always have some other folks from our board kind of sitting in and taking the chamber lead on some of the questioning as well. But
And those shows sit live, 6 o'clock, WGTV Channel 11. We stream it live on the WCTV Facebook page for those people who don't have Comcast cable and can't see it. We also stream it live on our video on demand site, WGTV Online. And if you look at our website or give us a call, we can give you that address. So we really try to open that up and make sure that everyone has a chance to see it. We've also been in conversations with the folks over at Whitewater Broadcasting, WKBV and G1013.
Great.
And it's possible that they will be running the audio from those programs as part of their public service fulfillment.
Fantastic.
So those things will be going on too. So again, trying to open up that information and open up the availability of candidates and in focus to as many of the area residents as possible.
Well, Eric, thank you for being on Chamber Chat with me today.
Glad to be here.
And thank you for your partnership with the Issues and Advocacy Committee and just with the Chamber in general. It's always a pleasure to work with your team.
Thank you.
And if you are interested in checking out the candidate forums, you can visit our website for the lineup. You can visit the WCTV website for the lineup. And again, that's on WGTV Channel 11 on Thursday nights leading up to the election. Thank you for being with us.